Welcome to Real with me, Zara King. I have been in business and personal development for years alongside raising my family. I started in the beauty industry in 2011, moved into network marketing and then coaching and NLP. This podcast originally began helping beauty professionals, and now I support ambitious women in a wider arena of service-based businesses. It is all about real, uncensored conversations on coming home to you and your alignment. You are done playing at a level that you know you've outgrown, and you're ready to go all in on creating more income, more freedom, mental clarity, and a business that actually works for your life. Inside this podcast, we talk real business, real life, and the hard parts most people avoid, from identity to strategy and what it actually takes to grow as women and mothers who want it all. So if you're ready to trust yourself fully and step into your next level, you're in the right place. Hello, you gorgeous human you, and welcome back to another episode. It is another very hot day here in the UK, and I've just had to shut all the windows so that there's no crazy dog barking. Like, what is this life? What is this life? I wish I could just take this outside and put my AirPods in my ear and just record it like as I walk or something, but here we are. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. I hope you're having a good day. I hope you're not melting. I mean, you're probably going to listen to this a whole month ahead. Like I'm recording this a month ahead, so it could even be raining. But it's a very hot day while I record, so I'm not going to keep you forever and ever because I'm just going to end up in a puddle. But I think this is a really important conversation to have because it's something that I hear it all the time. I see it online all the time. I teach it. I think it's so important as a service-based business owner to be doing this. So I know that you're probably a service-based business owner, potentially in the beauty industry, and you might have been thinking about adding something new to your menu, for example. Doesn't matter what it is. Could be a new treatment, could be a new offer, could be a whole new arm of the business. And when you get honest with yourself about why you want to do it, it's probably not because you want to just make more money. It might be. It might not be because everyone else is offering it and you've got to do it, but it might be. It could be that it just fits like who you are and what you love. And that is a really good starting point. I actually genuinely love that. The instinct should be what actually lights me up rather than just what is everyone else doing. So if that is you and you do make decisions from a place of this lights me up or it matches my vibe and my aesthetic, then that is actually a great place to start. But I do want to be honest with you about the other half to that doesn't get talked about when you're seeing people telling you add this into your business and niche down and things like that. And so niching down obviously into what you love and into what your people will love is the right thing to do. It absolutely is. But on its own, it isn't the whole process. So today I wanted to do an episode about this because it came up in practice with me and a client as well. So the first thing is what I'm saying is, yes, niche down. So you already probably do this if you've been in business for a while. Hopefully you do. Most of the women that I speak to have been doing this a little while and they know that they need to niche down and have a real target audience. I think most of you know this in theory, right? It works. And I do want to tell you why, properly. And that's because when you try to be everything to everyone, your marketing gets way too vague because you're trying to speak to 15 or 20 different people with one message, yeah? Nobody is going to feel like you are talking directly to them. Nobody is going to feel like, oh yeah, she's talking to me. I feel completely seen, which is what we talk about on here quite often. When nobody feels seen, no one's going to remember you specifically. Yeah, they're just going to think, oh, that one, it kind of like, blends in with everyone else, yeah? And you're just another option in a massive pond or even a sea of all these similar options because there are so many people that do what you do. But when you niche down, when you do actually pick a lane and decide where you place yourself in the market and you nail your positioning, everything massively shifts. Your content gets sharper. Okay, that's a whole process, yes, and that's what I teach, but your content begins to get sharper because you know who you're writing for. You know who you're trying to attract. Therefore, your offers are also going to get clearer because you are solving a specific problem really, really well instead of trying to solve 10,000 problems, like not very well or averagely well, you know? And the dream client, i.e. the person who is exactly who you want to work with, they read your content and go, my goodness me, this is literally me. And that is the client who is going to convert the fastest, who is going to refer you the most to other people, and also, let's be honest, is the easiest person to work with. And, you know, she chose you for all the right reasons. So yes, niching down is key. It is definitely not up for debate. Even if you see people telling you you don't have to niche down, I'm just going to call bullshit on it. You should niche down. I'm just going to say it how it is. You should definitely niche down. Now, here's the bit that obviously people do miss, because niching down feels a bit scary at first. If you've never done that before and you are fully trained, just for example, like I was back in 2011, fully trained beauty therapist in so many different treatments, it feels like you're just shutting all these doors down on the people, like certain people, right? And it feels like you're just saying no to clients and bookings and money, I guess. But I want you to flip it on its head, because you do not need to offer everything. You genuinely don't. And I see so many women trying to be the service provider for absolutely everyone who walks through the door. I've been there myself. You add treatment after treatment, offer after offer, all these different things, because you're scared that if you don't have something for everyone, someone's missing out, and you're not kind of getting in as much as you possibly could. Yeah, but this is what actually happens when you do that. You spread yourself really, really thin. Okay, and therefore, generally speaking, you're going to be good, mediocre, average at those things, instead of, for example, very fucking good, exceptional even, at a couple of things or 3 things. Yeah, 3 or 4 things, doesn't matter. But less can be more. Yeah, and what happens is, as well, just to beat this drum a little bit more, is if you have a massive menu, for example, at a restaurant, isn't it difficult what to pick? You know, you get a little bit more confused. That is what you're doing when you have a huge service menu, because the client is a little bit more confused. Not because it's like confusing, but because there's just so many options. And therefore they probably don't know what you specialize in or what you're actually known for anymore. And it's just not as streamlined. And also, I think when I was doing a bit of everything, you do burn yourself out and you don't enjoy it as much, because you're trying to be all things to everyone. And, you know, I don't need to tell you this, but that is the quickest way to not really loving your business. Yeah, less is more. So I would personally encourage you to pick a few things that you can be genuinely brilliant at, that actually lights you up, so that the people, we have notifications going off in the background today, it's not normal, the people that you want to work with specifically think of you. And that's it. You know, that is the strategy. You don't need to have 50,000 offers. You just need clear offers, a clear menu that people cannot confuse with anyone else. And this is what I teach inside the positioning section in Limitless as well. But this is also the part that there is a massive gap that people miss. Okay, so this is the bit that really makes me want to record this episode. So if you go back to what I said before and say you've decided a new thing is fitting your aesthetic. Yeah, I said obviously at the beginning, didn't I? If you want to put something in that's new, typically speaking, you've probably thought this fits who I am and what I love and my aesthetic, you know, of whatever space you're in. Great. trust the instinct, go with the instinct. But then there's this kind of second conversation that you need to have with yourself. And this is what people miss, yeah? And they don't know how to do it. Because loving something and a specific area of the market and people in the market, and that thing being actually the right business decision for you personally to deliver, are two different things. So this is what I mean. Say, for example, your diary is full and you want to bring in this new thing. This is just a hypothetical example, right? If you personally train in this new thing and you start offering it yourself, why is this going off today, guys? How do I mute things on this PC? Who knows? Anyway, so genuinely offering it yourself could be adding in more hours into your already very busy week, yeah? That's quite obvious. Yes, it might fit the niche. Yes, it fits who you are. Yes, it might fit the dream client. Yes, it could be something that could bring you like great things. But you have to get really honest with yourself when you make business decisions. Are you the only one, or are you the one that needs to deliver this? Okay. If it doesn't get you closer to your end goals, it could potentially be moving you further away from that, yeah? If that's monetary value, if it's freedom, generally speaking, I want to lean to the freedom side. You probably know me well enough by now. So the question you need to ask yourself isn't like, does this match my aesthetic, or does this work with my niche, or do people want this? The real question is, does this suit my business model, and does this actually, underneath all of this, get me the income and the time that I want? Like, does it match my end goals in the time and in the money? And this is the gap, right? This is the thing that I see constantly. Women are niching down beautifully, gorgeous, lovely positioning, crystal clear messaging. They've paid somebody to help them with their content. Their dream client is gorgeously defined. They know who they want to work with. They build a business, but they build a business that they can't actually, sustain the life that they said they wanted in the first place. They are niched, but they are literally run ragged, still trading every single hour for money. Yeah, they are super niched, but they are still capped by being there themselves. And this is the thing that I see so much. Niching down is going to tell you as a business owner who you're talking to. It's going to help you align your marketing, but it isn't going to tell you how the business should actually be built within that niche to get you to what you're really after. Okay? This is huge. So this is the part that I really want you to sit with. It's like, before you niche down, or alongside it, yeah, when you're doing this work, this is what I do in more depth with clients, is it's like, not just who do I want to work with, but what does my actual income goal and freedom goal require structurally within the business? How does that actually play out and look in a way that feels aligned and anchored in what I truly want my lived life to feel like and be like in practice? Does that still mean I'm able to insert desire? Yeah? Because if your goal is the time, which a lot of my clients have this goal of having time back, i.e. more days off where you feel rich in time, not just money, like we did on the episode a couple back, then having a niche that is built entirely around you personally delivering more of this thing, as in having a vision about this niche and having new things to serve this niche is what I mean. Yeah, if that type of thing is all built around you personally delivering more of this thing that you love, it's still not going to get you there. You're still just going to be busier doing some of the things that you enjoy, some a little bit more than others maybe. And it feels good when you're doing it sometimes, but it can be the same ceiling. And this is what I see often. People just adding new things because they're like, this is what I like. It can bring in a little bit of extra money, blah, 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 blah. But actually, it's not fulfilling the whole thing. So it's not like do it yourself. It might be that you change the business model when you're making these decisions, or it doesn't necessarily need changing, but the structure needs refinement. Maybe, for example, it's, yes, you want to bring something new into your business, but to make that match the goal, it's actually bringing in someone else who already does it. Or it's someone whose obviously energy and standards are still going to match yours, and we let them deliver it under your brand. And that way, the new thing that you want to offer to the niche and the dream clients, they're still being served. Everything's still as you wanted it to be. Your clients get access to the exact thing that they've been asking for, maybe in the space they already use, in the space they already come to and trust and love, but you're no longer the bottleneck. You're no longer the one that's holding it back a bit. Yeah, the business model is going to catch up to match that freedom that you actually want, instead of just adding another skill to your own plate. That is how you start to create leverage. Just in this random example, I have to apologize about all these notifications today. I must have my settings changed. This doesn't normally happen. So that's why I wanted to do this really quick episode with you. It's like, this is the difference between, yes, having a niche, but don't get that confused with your business model. Your niche is going to tell you who the market is that you're for. And the business model, I'm just laughing at these notifications. Sorry, guys. The business model actually decides whether this thing that you've gone for, this place in the market, these people, this dream client, and this, for example, your niche can be built around you, your dream client, and your product, yeah? But your business model is going to decide whether that is actually going to make you fulfilled in the way that you're trying to be fulfilled, whether it's time, money, or both, yeah, or other things. So there's a few things to take from this one. I know I've been distracted by these notifications. Crazy. Niche down, number one, it does work. It makes you memorable. This is what we do in positioning. We need to have that positioning power because it makes your dream client feel seen. And there are different steps to this. There's the identity step that I do, the recode with my clients. And then there's the market stuff, yeah? Inside the market, your offers and your dream client and everything. Remember, less is more as well. Of course, you don't need 10,000 offers. You need to just have what you're genuinely brilliant at. But, and obviously this is the part that most people are going to skip because, again, doesn't feel great. Just check that model underneath actually matches what you say you want, because you can have the most beautifully positioned business in the world and still be stuck. Yeah, because the delivery caps your own time and your own income. The other thing is just don't ask yourself, like, who am I for? Who am I for? Who am I for? Who's the dream client? And this is the type of surface level work that you see out there being done with different people. Who are you for? Who are you for? Speak to that person, speak to that person. Yes. No, not just that. Ask how the business needs to be built structurally so that serving that person, serving that dream client is getting you what you're really after. Yeah. And there are ways that we leverage our time, our space, our money, other people, our knowledge, so that all of this becomes possible, and you can still see clients if you wish. So hopefully that all made sense, and hopefully you've taken from something, you've taken something from that. If it did make you rethink about something, about how your offers are structured or your business is structured, you know what to do. You can message me on Instagram. My details are in the description. And yeah, if you've got any takeaways, take a screenshot, pop it on your story and tag me. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. I'll speak to you soon.